How's it going, guys? It's Joe. Welcome to the channel. Today is going to be another 5v5 Grand Arena matchup and I'm really excited to be back. If you guys haven't noticed, I haven't been able to make too many videos as of late, but we are back and we're going to try and pick up the pace from here on. We're just about to hit 500 subs as well, so if you guys enjoy the content that we're making here today, please hit the like and comment and subscribe. That'll really help the channel. I would also like to thank my guildmates on Abound, as you guys have been a solid support for me these past couple of weeks. I've been going through tough times, unfortunately, and yeah, so we're gonna look at this a little bit more positively, as when I started this GAC, long story short, my defense auto set and I wasn't able to take part in the first round. If you're lucky enough, I might even tell you the full story in the next video, but for now, let's just have a look here. So just before we begin, guys, I'm just going to quickly show you the first round where I lost against Ozone here. He actually only attacked two of my defensive teams here at the bottom, and he got the win as I auto set that defense. But today we're going up against Milaborius, 6.5 million GP here. Pretty solid account. Looking at his mods, every team's pretty much modded appropriately, although on defense here it looks like he has tripped against our Night Sisters, which is pretty cool. I have been working a lot on my Night Sisters, Geonosians and Bounty Hunters, and I set a really heavy defense this time, as my opponent has a Kylo Ren as well. There's a lot of videos circulating online at the moment, guys, where people have been using Padme and Fives to beat Kylo Ren on defense, and it looks to be really effective, as the AI seems to just keep going for Fives. So if you have Wat Tambor and the Backdoor Shield Generator, Fives is just going to keep regenerating through a Padme lead, and yeah, so that makes Kylo Ren on defense not very viable at this stage. So we're going to go for the bottom line here with the Bounty Hunters. We're going to use our Kylo Ren unmasked with Wat Tambor. I tried to get a stun on Bossk there. It was a bit unfortunate that I didn't. However, we're still going to try and beat down this Relic 5 Bossk. So we've got him stun locked here. Couple of dot points on there, and we really want to get that healing immunity on them at this point. That's it, we've got that from the basic, and we got Bossk down. We're gonna work on Embo here in the back. We're gonna cleanse up on Wat Tambor here and spread some turn meter with OG Kylo. I find this team quite effective, guys. As you can see, First Order Executioner is doing a lot of work here. OG Kylo is doing a ton of damage as well. This would be an even better defensive team to set in GAC, I find. I just like to play around sometimes, and it's so much fun utilizing them with Wat Tambor on offense. Oftentimes you get most of your banners back as well. And I was so keen to use the Bounty Hunter faction here, as I have Mandalorian ready to go. I have Grief Karga and Dengar, and I'm going to use that under a Bossk lead. So unfortunately, I don't have my bounty hunters modded very optimally at this point, which is why I struggled against this Night Sister team, as I've had to share some of my other speed mods with the other teams that I'm working on. So Talzin hits us with that plague. We're going to try and cleanse that off with Grief Karga here. We're still stuck behind the taunt on this Night Sister zombie. And this was quite a tough matchup, and I was quite surprised, as typically going against G12 Night Sisters isn't this difficult. However, as it appeared, I kept on hitting the Night Sister zombie. However, their old Daka was still the weakest out of all of them, and it took me a while to get my payouts because of that, as Night Sister zombie keeps taunting and we keep getting stuck behind the taunt. Trying to work on old Daka here. Get some ability blocks out with Boba Fett. And I find it fitting that they have an Enfys Nest in this team, as Mandalorian can very easily just execute this nest later on. So now the weakest is still old Daka. Actually, Night Sister Zombie was for very briefly there. It seems to be swapping between Daka and Night Sister Spirit. We lose Grief Karga there, unfortunately, as that's a Relic 7 nest and hits like a truck. We finally get our payouts. However, we didn't have Bounty Hunters Resolve at that point, so I couldn't target old Daka, and I had to go for Zombie. Got our ability blocks out. And we had days on Dengar and Mando. But now we're finally going to be able to execute Mother Talzin here and work our way down, get our taunt out on Bossk. And we've almost got our Annihilate on Mando. Lose Bounty Hunters Resolve there. This nest is doing a lot of work. And we finally got our Assassinate here. I should say Disintegrate. I keep calling it all these different names. And look at that, we got max protection and health on everyone. However, we lost Grief Karga. So in the back walls, we've got Geonosians pretty relicked up, and a Scoundrel team here as well. We're going to work on this Padme to begin with, as I like to start with the stronger teams and work my way down from there. So at this point, thinking about it, I had two choices. I could have used my Traya team against this Padme. However, looking at my roster, I still had Supreme Leader Kylo Ren, I still had Jedi Knight Revan, and this is another counter that I really like to use against Padme. The idea behind it is that you're just going to be using a ton of basics. You don't want to do a lot of your assists, as that's going to give the opposing team a ton of protection up. So we're going to quickly mark Jedi Knight Anakin here. And as you can see, I'm going to avoid using any of my assists. I'm going to try and get Master's Training onto Grandmaster Yoda, however, as that just makes him more survivable. And they're starting to work on Jolee here as well. It looks like they're going to pop Savior on Jedi Knight Revan. We take a turn. We're going to slowly whittle away at Jedi Knight Anakin's health with our basics here. So the first threat in this opposing lineup is Jedi Knight Anakin, as he does so much damage with his AoE, and once he builds up on those courage stacks, it's gonna be problematic for us. So the next priority would be Padme, as without Padme there won't be many sources of courage stacks. So we're gonna slowly work on Padme here as well, and we're gonna mark her as soon as it's available. I'm actually quite surprised, as this gentleman Milaborius, he actually didn't place his Grievous team on defense, and he must have utilized that squad on offense. I actually find Grievous pretty solid on offense, having what Tambor in that team as well allows for all that regeneration. However, on defense, I like to have BB-8 with that Grievous lineup, as having BB-8 there allows for that team to just quickly ramp up in speed and turn meter. And you're just essentially overwhelming the opposing team with that lineup. So we're down to Shakti here. And I'm trying to slow it down, trying to regenerate a little bit of that protection that I've lost, just to see how much I can, but it looks like this is it. So we're going to use our mark here. Got about 58 banners. So I've got a lot of breathing room here, guys, as my opponents actually slipped. And I didn't want to do too many undersized battles here at this point, as it is my first 5v5 GAC coming back. So it's pretty good to get accustomed to 5v5 again, because towards the end of that 3v3, I've got to say I was so sick of it. It was fun at one point. However, it does get really tiring after some time, as I find 5v5 to be so much more fun. So pretty straightforward win there, Gas against Kylo Ren Unmasked. Got Geos here in the back, which I've still got Traya, Palpatine and Nihilus to utilize for that one. At this point I was thinking of placing another tank here in this lineup. However, it is a Sith led squad, so I just decided to use Palpatine. So tell me what you guys think about Jedi Knight Luke. Unfortunately, I don't have him yet at this point. My biggest paywall will probably have to be Captain Han Solo, as I don't even have him at 7 stars. However, I believe all the other requirements won't be too hard to attain. From what I can see, however, there's a lot of teams that you've got to break in order to fit Jedi Knight Luke into Jedi squads. And it's really hard to break those squads as well, because you're going to be breaking a Padme squad as well as a Jedi Knight Revan to potentially place Grandmaster Yoda and possibly GK. As I find, if you place all the other older Jedi that we have in the game, that team's not going to be as effective. So working on these Geonosians, finally got our Annihilate out, get that on Geo Soldier. Pretty straightforward there. We still have Supreme Leader Kylo Ren, so I decided to use him against this Separatist lineup. So we're going to work on Count Dooku here, right off the bat. And we just one-shot him into Oblivion there, for 100k damage. Working on Newt Gunray as well. And we make very quick work of this opposing lineup, however this B1 is taking our banners away. Unfortunately, there's no way of getting those back. And I know what everyone's thinking right now. I probably could have soloed this with Supreme Leader Kylo Ren. However, this was the decision that I made at the time. In the back walls, we've still got the scoundrels here, led by Kira. And I just decided to use Commander Luke here. The most conflicting thing at the moment is that we're actually, if you've been a huge fan of Jedi Knight Luke for some time, you're going to be really tempted to deviate from farming Rey or farming Kylo and just to farm Jedi Knight Luke. However, it can be quite problematic as it's so difficult to think of what squad you're going to be placing him in. As you don't really want to break, or well, I don't really want to break my gas team or my JKR team. I hear a lot of good things about Ezra. So maybe once all this farming's done, we're gonna work on some of our Jedi. And hopefully we can get Jedi Knight Luke before this event is done. So we've got Home 1 here for ships. And on defense, I actually placed my very fresh and new Malevolence that I just got maybe a couple of weeks ago. And currently I'm just working on learning about that fleet on offense. And I have to say, it's really good. It's really consistent offensively against Negotiator on defense. However, I've only got Malevolence at 5 stars at the moment. I've got Hyena Bomber at 7. And I've got the Vulture Droid at 6 stars. So I'm still working on that. This was a pretty straightforward matchup. I didn't want to take out Plo Koon just yet. So I bring out Ahsoka here, use my special ability on Houndstooth and drop Houndstooth there. Losing a fair bit of health on Anakin here. We're going to slow this down a little bit and try and get Plo Koon out as soon as we can. I could have dropped Hera there. Bit unfortunate that I couldn't. And Home 1 was able to use the AoE, which was pretty annoying as we Lost a couple of banners from there, but I'll take the win. So I know that's not the most efficient in banners, in terms of banners. However, I'm still happy to get the W. Night Sisters are always clutch on defense. I also like to utilize them on offense. So I might change it up in the next video. So overall, that was good fun, guys. I'm glad to be back, and I hope you enjoy the content today. And like I said, if you guys hang around for the next video, I might even tell you the story about why I had to auto set on defense in the first round. But until then, thank you guys for watching. Leave a like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you on the next one.